April this year, a night out at a work party where Jessie J was performing ended in tragedy for a father of two. After a brief argument at the bar, Phillip Sherriff was slashed in the throat with a broken bottle and killed.
Well, his wife Jane has made it her mission to stop other families going through what hers has had to endure by fighting for a ban on glass in late-night venues. Well, Jane joins us for her first live interview in a few minutes, but first, here's what happened that night. Phillip Sherriff had only been working for Blackberry for about a month when he was invited to a corporate party where Jessie J was performing. But a sudden altercation at the bar became a fight for his life, a fight he didn't win. These scenes, caught on CCTV, show Phillip and his killer Ashley Charles. A heated exchange of words, a broken glass bottle, and a fatal injury to Phillip's neck. Phillip was taken to A&E. It wasn't until the next day his wife Jane was told he was in a coma and wouldn't survive. Ashley Charles was charged with murder and sentenced to 14 years in prison.
Well, Jonathan Swain is inside a nightclub in Manchester. Morning to you, Jonathan. The story, sadly, is not unusual, is it?
I know you're absolutely right. Sadly, it's not unusual at all. People come to clubs like this, don't they, for a drink and a dance, but often it's cuts and bruises that they end up leaving with, because some 50,000 people every year are attacked by a glass bottle or by glasses. Now, many owners of pubs and clubs like this around the country are well aware of the dangers and all the problems that it can cause. We were here in the Birdcage nightclub in Manchester last night, and all the drinks here are actually served up in a plastic cup. They've been doing this for 5 years. All the wines, spirits and the beers are transferred from the bottle at the bar, put into one of these plastic cups, and as a result of this, people leave here without any glass injuries.
And what do people think about drinking from plastic? Are they quite happy?
Well, Lorraine, it was really busy here last night. It's around sort of 900 people dancing away, drinking away till 3 o'clock in the morning. And I have to say, I was really surprised by the reaction I got, because most people thought this was a really good idea. Of course, people want to come out for a good night out. They also want to make sure it's a safe one as well.
I feel safer coming out knowing there's going to be no glass being thrown at anyone's head, or it's going to hit me.
Well, I've got glassed, so yeah. So I don't mind plastic cups now. I prefer them.
I'd rather drink out of a plastic cup than get a smashed glass up my leg.
Plastic cups it's no different from glasses really, just safer.
I have to say, some really interesting views there. Let's just hope that these are introduced around the country, and it seems that plastic doesn't necessarily end the party.
Thank you very much indeed, Jonathan.
Well, Jane Sherriff joins us now. Jane, I would imagine you're very encouraged by that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's good that the message is getting spread. So sorry for your loss. What an absolute nightmare that you've had. That's why I really admire what you're trying to do. Is this somehow making sense of what happened in a strange way?
I think so. I think I do need projects, and I think this is... I don't want to stop, so I need to keep going at the moment.
But it makes perfect sense.
It does. I think it's a no-brainer.
But what a terrible thing to have happened, that your husband had to die in order for people to suddenly take this seriously.
Yeah.
You know, it just seems so sad that has actually happened, and what you've been through as a family, because of course you didn't know what had happened. He was out for the night, and then when he didn't come home, you must have been frantic.
Yeah, I didn't realise, and I didn't get a text from him that morning, but I thought, well, OK, maybe he's got on the train and he's on his way home, because I'm in Lancaster, and I got a call at 11 from Blackberry while I was making a birthday cake for my daughter. And that was the first I'd heard, and I just heard that he was missing. So it took about another 2 hours of phone calls before I found out what had actually happened.
You came down to London and you spent, what, 4 days by his bedside?
Yeah. When I got there on the Wednesday night, I was told that his left side of his brain had died, and the best case scenario was that he'd be paralysed on his right side. And then it just got worse and worse.
And you had to switch off the life support?
Yes, on the Saturday, the consultants told me that it was time for the ventilator to be turned off.
What a nightmare. You did something really brave.
Yeah, you did. You released his organs, didn't you?
Yes.
And one of them saved someone's life.
Yes.
That must have given you some courage.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, his liver transplant was life-saving.
Well, that's amazing. That really is, for something good, something positive to come out of something so horrific.
You have to.
And the terrible thing about it was it's all on CCTV as well.
Yes, it's something that we watched over and over again at the trial because it was key evidence.
And having to see that and having to relive that all the time. How are the kids?
They're okay. They're okay. We're all in therapy, but
I'm not surprised.
No.
I'm not surprised.
they're doing all right, you know, and school they're doing amazingly. So.
And the man who did it was sentenced to, what, 14 years
Yeah,
in
he was
prison?
found guilty of murder on Friday.
How do you feel towards him?
Nothing.
No,
I don't
you
feel
can't.
anything towards him. I really don't. He showed no remorse. Well, I came face to face with him every day in court. He showed no remorse.
Goodness me.
I'm just glad that he's been seen to be the liar and the coward that he is.
Absolutely.
It's horrendous. And the campaign that you've launched, you want to see this throughout the UK.
Yes.
Throughout the UK. But it's already spread. I mean, we've had such a huge reaction to this.
Yeah, we have.
And we've had emails from far afield as Australia. People saying, you know, this actually happens here in Australia, and instances have gone down by 80%.
Yeah.
Of, you know, instances
Absolutely.
involving glass attacks.
Yeah.
And we asked if glasses and bottles should be banned in late-night venues in an internet poll this morning, and 95% of you agreed they should.
I don't think we've ever had as high a result in
I don't
that in
think we
any
have.
poll that we've ever done.
No.
You know, which must give you some...
It just seems obvious. I think it's obvious to everyone that it needs to happen now.
No,
You've got a lot of drive, haven't you?
I'm very stubborn, very stubborn. Phil knows that.
but it's also for your husband. It's for his name. It's for you know, it's for all of that as well, and for your children too.
Yeah.
And for your children. Amazing result.
Absolutely.
We've had.
What do you miss most about him?
Oh, I just miss having him there. He was part of me. You know, we've been together 15 years. I feel like half of me is gone now. And you know, when you've had a bad day or things are going wrong, you've always got someone there to talk to, and I don't have that person anymore.
That must be horrendous. And when the kids do something, you want to say, you never guess what they said.
Absolutely.
You never guess what they did.
Yeah, and even now, 7 months on, I'm like, oh, I must tell Phil that, and then I think, oh.
And then you can't, and it brings it all back again. You're doing an amazing
you are.
job.
Thank you.
Really are. He would be so proud of you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And all the best with the campaign
Thank
as
you.
well.
Absolutely.